Liverpool 2, Real Madrid 0. Another great night at Anfield. We've come to expect this in the Champions League, of course. This fixture seldom disappoints. It's been a while since Liverpool have beaten them, but blimey, didn't they beat them at Anfield this evening?
Indeed, and it should have been more. It should have been far more. I think by the time they'd opened the scoring, I think that should have been maybe the fourth or third goal. They were that dominant. They were that confident throughout the game, I thought, Liverpool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were. They had to wait till the second half, of course. But my goodness, I mean, Liverpool, they are... I mean, you could say that the form team in European football at the moment, commanding lead in the Premier League, and of course sitting very, very pretty indeed at the top of the group in the Champions League, a perfect record. There seems to be, how can I describe it? There's a sort of a quiet confidence about them, if you see what I mean. They're not it's not shock and awe. We know they've got a superstar in Mo Salah there. I mean, he's getting on a bit, but we'll talk about him in a moment or two. But there's just something very, I don't know what it is, reassuring, straightforward in some senses. They get the job done. They play some lovely stuff. But there's as I say, it's a quiet confidence, and they come across as a side who are going to get the job done, and there's a stability and a reliability about them.
They look like a real side. They look like a real squad. And if you look tonight, penalty save comes from Kelleher, understudy to Alisson. Conor Bradley, for me, man of the match, understudy to Trent. Cody Gakpo comes on, he scores. He's not a regular either. The depth is really, really impressive there. And if they don't, it's kind of a death by a thousand cuts in that, if Salah doesn't get you, or if Trent doesn't get you, or whoever it may be, they have got other people to come into the team who can do it. And it's always important to have a really good squad in a long season as well, especially with the amount of games that you play now. And they just look really impressive on that level, and no matter who they pour out right now or whoever it's against.
And the point needs to be made again. Klopp left this side in great shape, didn't he? I mean, how many times have we seen managers leave teams and it's a real tough job for the manager to come in? It was almost as if, he left the crib sheet and Slot has gone, yeah, right, we do that. Lovely old job, and the good ship Liverpool continues to sail.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we've seen it in the past with when Sir Alex Ferguson left Man United, when Arsene Wenger left Arsenal. I think they're two clear examples of it. Leaving behind sides, squads that need some serious restructuring, and in some cases, I think potentially a complete clear out. This transition over to Arne Slot has been quite, smooth, I'd say. They've actually added some things to the game as well. There seems to be a renewed vigour and vibrance about Liverpool now in the way that they play. Some of their one-touch stuff, the way that they sweep up the field especially, is really impressive. They can pick up the ball on the edge of their own area, and then within 2 or 3 little passes, they're already charging down into the final third. And I think that was missing towards the end of Klopp's reign. They seemed a little kind of turgid at times. I thought it was very plodding. They just didn't have that confidence and that swagger about them, and Slot has renewed that, and a lot of players look renewed as well.
Yeah, they do. One player I think we all love watching at the moment, we've enjoyed him obviously for a while, but particularly right now, is Curtis Jones. He's just got so much to his game. Liverpool fans obviously love him. As an England fan, of course, I'm delighted to see him come into the fold there, and I think he could go on to win a fair few caps in what would be a competitive place on the pitch for England. But a night like this against the Champions League holders just does not look overawed at all, and you can see the touches and the flicks and so on. And he's a vital part of that midfield when they're on son.
Absolutely. Everything looks uniform to him now. He can easily come in there against no matter who it is, whether it be Real Madrid or Man United or Chelsea, anybody. It doesn't matter who it is. He now has made himself a key part of this team, rightly so. And like you said, I think you touched on it. I think a lot of Liverpool fans have always sang his praises and said, look, we've got a serious player here. I think fans perhaps who didn't watch Liverpool that much, or, naysayers might have said, oh look, he's an okay player. Just because he's a Liverpool graduate doesn't mean he's the world's best player or anything like that. But I think we're seeing he is a really, really good player now. And he's very versatile as well in the way his game. He's got lots to his game.
Yeah, indeed, yeah. And what was pleasing as well, in particular in the midfield battle in this game, there was a bit of spice. And David, I know you're a fan of the spice. There was a wonderful intensity about this game, because you can think to yourself, okay, at this stage in the Champions League, where teams are kind of warmed up and so on, but you would expect Liverpool and Real Madrid to be, there or thereabouts, very well placed for qualifying for the next phase of the competition and not having to play those extra games, of course. Well, Real Madrid, Dave, I'm going to use the word floundering, quite frankly, in this group phase. Liverpool, of course, are top of the shop, perfect record. But that was the beauty of it. Real Madrid, they needed a result, so they kept on going. But Liverpool, obviously, they were potent in attack, scored the 2 goals, as you say, could have been more. But they did have to be disciplined at the back as well.
Yeah, absolutely. They had to be very, very wary. I think both sides knew they had to be wary.
You've got to be wary of Mbappe, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and we'll get on to Mbappe in a minute probably. But yes, you have to be aware of, I know Vinny Jr. wasn't playing tonight, but you have to be aware of what you're facing. You can't get a little bit too carried away. You can't push on a little too much because they've got that pace on the break. And it was the same for both teams as well. Real Madrid couldn't leave Liverpool, but they did. But Liverpool did not leave, give Real Madrid those inches. And I think that was the key there. Liverpool far more well-rounded, far more aware of their responsibilities at both ends. And I don't think anyone sums that up better than Conor Bradley, who was man of the match. He was brilliant defensively, brilliant in attack. It was... he set the tone, if you're talking about spice, with that tackle after, I think it was 31 minutes. That got a louder reception than any of the goals did. I mean, that's the sort of thing. It's a
and that was just in your living room, David.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
Even Anfield.
I was applauding. Yeah, and this was like, no one scored. Or you about what you're doing. So yeah, that tackle was fantastic, and that got everybody up. And like you say, European night, it's a bit cold. Fans want to get warmed up. That's the sort of thing you want to see. One of your academy graduates putting in a tackle like that against a player who fancies himself as one of the world's best. And then at 85, I think just before he went off, maybe 80 minutes or so, 75 minutes, he's still pushing on there. He's still supporting in attack. He's still trying to thread a ball through. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It's that sort of attitude you've got to love.
Oh, he's a brilliant player. And then, of course, when you're talking about when he was subbed off and so on, Joe Gomez comes on at fullback as well. The fans are singing his name because they love him, and he's a quality player. So again, the depth is there, which is maybe something that, I don't know, I can only really speak for myself, that I'd kind of forgotten about really with Liverpool, I suppose. But yeah, my goodness. And I mean, Trent he missed the game through injury. And as you say, as you mentioned earlier, his understudy comes in and is a lot of people's man of the match against Real Madrid when he is towards the end of the game. More when Mbappe was put on the left, he's having to deal with him at that later stage in the game when you think, might he be tiring, all sorts of stuff going on there, and he was absolutely brilliant. And I suppose we should really talk about McAllister as well, because he got the opening goal. It was a lovely finish. The World Cup winning Alexis McAllister as well. What did you make of his performance?
Yeah, excellent again. Just really smooth, just really commanding, but like not commanding doesn't really impose himself in an aggressive way or anything like that. He imposes himself in just intelligence and smarts. The way that he moves, the way that he balances between defence and midfield. He's key in both areas, and I think we perhaps underrate how delicate he is around the final third as well. His final ball, absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean, under Klopp, Liverpool, of course, had, and vintage Liverpool Klopp we're talking about here, they had such an industrious midfield that could just go toe-to-toe with any midfield in the world, of course. You think about Wijnaldum, even Henderson back in the day, Fabinho, and more, just to name those three, as we could be here quite a while. How do you rate this midfield? Now, obviously, Klopp did a lot of restructuring. We've mentioned that, with McAllister coming in being just one name. How do you rate this midfield compared to that midfield? Because I don't know if you agree with me, but that Klopp midfield, as I say, the word industrious. Now, I don't mean to do them a disservice, because they had quality, don't get me wrong, but it was the running, it was the yards, it was the relentlessness, it was the pressing, it was all that kind of stuff for me. This midfield is a little bit different. How do you compare the two? And as I say, vintage Klopp's Liverpool, because I understand he did bring in some of the names that are there at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think that team, a lot of the craft came through Bobby Firmino and other players, Salah, the craft came through there, through the attacking players, where this midfield can also undo you with their own craft as well. And it's a completely different type of midfield, but it's as an enjoyable one. But look, they've not won anything yet. So it's very hard to, compare
Sure.
right now. That's the key thing, and that's what will be judged upon. And they probably are easier in the eye right now, absolutely. But they'll be judged by what they win and whether they can replicate that sort of success that the club had.
Yeah, the only surprising thing really from Liverpool's point of view tonight, and we're sort of waxing lyrical about them, rightly so, is that Mo Salah missed a penalty. Now, it came after Mbappe missed a penalty as well. Now, Mbappe's penalty, it was a real lifeline for Real Madrid, let's be honest. I did feel it was a penalty. You can see, though, when he takes it, he runs up and he really does try and give Kelleher the eyes, and Kelleher's not having any of it. But that's Mbappe's preferred spot. You remember the World Cup final? He puts all 3 penalties to the goalkeeper's right. But when he stares like that, he actually gave himself away, clearly, I would suggest, because Kelleher guesses right. Although, again, if Mbappe is staring at that spot that he's so used to, I'd like to think that Kelleher would think, hang on, this is obvious, this is a trap, and he made the save. But yeah, Kelleher, bearing in mind Alisson is one of the best goalkeepers in the world and has been phenomenal for Liverpool, Kelleher's come in, and if Alisson wants to leave the club, they're in good shakes.
They really, really are. And look, they've been linked with the Georgian goalkeeper, Madashvili, as well. So, there's talk of that as well. So I put Kelleher as one of those guys you look at. And I remember there was a discussion about Ortega, I think, last season at Man City. They were like, he could walk into most Premier League sides and be the number one. And Kelleher he absolutely could. And I think on that penalty as well, I think, look at the confidence that Kelleher's got right now. He fancied himself. He clearly saw it. He goes, look, you might be giving me the old Mbappe eyes, but you're not the old Mbappe. So
yeah, yeah, right. Well, I mean, he saved 3 of his last 4 penalties he's faced for club and country, which shows you that he's got a bit of pedigree. He's also Liverpool's club record for penalty shootout saves too. He has the club record for that. So I would say to Mr. Mbappe, next time just roof it, mate, because he's got a bit of class back there.
If there's ever a man that needed a penalty to go in, it's Mbappe. Yeah. I'd be more worried about Mbappe missing the penalty than I would Salah missing the penalty. Put it that way, right now.
Yeah, well, indeed. I mean, it was an odd one for Salah. I mean, we've seen him. He does like a blast. He likes to get his laces behind it, and clearly he thought, right, I'll stuff it in the corner, because again, Courtois. I mean, this is the funny thing with Real Madrid. They weren't great. They conceded, but Courtois still stood out. He had a pretty good game, did he not?
Yeah.
But Salah, blasted that one wide after he twisted up Ferland Mendy. You just had to feel sorry for Mendy in that situation, did you not?
Oh, I absolutely loved it. I didn't really feel sorry for him.
Sorry, I forgot, David. You don't do sympathy, do you?
No, I've done that. I love seeing him getting humbled like that. No, that was lovely from Salah. It was nice because it was a lovely feint, and he just gave that Mendy that idea that he was going to open up, cut inside, and open up, and then he just took one more inside, and then that is exactly what that curled up Mendy and caused that. So yeah, that's nice to see.
Yeah, I mean, Mendy was like, I don't know where he is, I'm just going to put out a leg, and it's like, come on, you know better than that, son. Dearie me. But anyway, the penalty was missed, of course. But Liverpool got their second goal in Cody Gakpo, and again, showing the strength and depth. He come off the bench and nods in.
You're watching a clip from the Football Ramble podcast. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss an upload. A single upload. Don't miss out on the uploads. The uploads are important.